Hello, it's Heather Ann here, and I am doing a vlog that I wanted to do for such a long time about forgiveness. And I think a lot of people don't really know what forgiveness is, and they think it's somehow for the other person, and they miss out on a lot of blessings and peace for themselves because I'm going to tell you right now that forgiveness is, I'm always fixing my hair in the, I see it in the camera and then I fix my hair. It's like an unconscious thing that see like, no, no, no. It's an unconscious thing that I do. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for you. When you forgive the other person, you're letting go of hatred, anger, and the desire for vengeance and revenge. It is not about whether they apologize, whether they make good on something, whether they make it better. It's about you finding peace within yourself. So I want to talk to you about kind of how I get to forgiveness and how I get there. I tend to forgive really quickly, probably to a fault. I probably get myself into situations because I forgive very easily that maybe make my life a little more difficult, but I do tend to forgive really quickly and I tend to move on pretty quick. And I also tend to see the humanity in people and why they do things, and I try my hardest. Now, it's not always 100% that when you forgive someone that you're actually going to have them still in your life, right? All right, so I'm going to start first of all with let's say that something really horrible happened to you, like a crime. Somebody committed a crime against you and you would think, I am never going to forgive that person. They robbed me, or God forbid, rape or something really horrible. And you think, I will never forgive that person. They committed a crime against me, or they murdered someone. Okay, you are forgiving that person does not mean that you're going to go visit them in jail and bring them cookies, right? That's my analogy. Forgiving that person does not mean that you're going to tell them that what they did is okay, or that you're even have any contact with them. You might have been abused as a child, and your parent who abused you could have died, and then you can't contact them, or maybe you're estranged from them and they're gone. They abandoned you. How are you going to contact them? A lot of times you don't even have access to the person, or the person is very stubborn and is not going to apologize. They don't feel bad, or they do feel bad, but they're not going to tell you. So your forgiveness is for yourself. It's a way of letting go of the hurt, the anger, and the bad feelings and getting freedom. If you hang on to anger for what people did to you, you will be a prisoner in your own heart. They will have residence inside here. They will take up residence, and they will affect everything else you do. They'll affect your friendships. They'll affect dating, your relationships. It will affect everything you do. So it is a constant battle to forgive. Battle, I say battle, because when you're forgiving, you're battling your own ego. Right? When someone hurts me, I want apology. I want vindication. I want them to make me feel better. I want them to pay maybe for what they did. And sometimes they don't pay. People even commit crimes and get away with it, right? So when you're forgiving, you're going inside so that you can be free and you're breaking the chains. You're breaking the chains. You're not letting yourself have a yoke around your neck of anger, hatred, and hanging on. It doesn't mean that you don't set boundaries. It doesn't mean that you let that person in your life. You might. It depends, So here's some of the ways that I find forgiveness. Number one is I pray. I do believe in God and I pray. So if you don't believe in God, that one's not going to work for you. However, I do think that even if you're not someone who believes in God, I think you can go inside to yourself and get quiet and find some stillness and peace in your heart. So that's my second thing, is that I take my quiet time and I process. When something happens to you that is upsetting, you need to process your feelings. You have grief, you have anger, you have hurt, you have all these emotions. You got to go through them. You don't get to forgiveness like that. And sometimes people will use apologies to try and shut you down and not let you process your feelings, right? I said, I'm sorry, let it go. So, sometimes it takes time. Forgiveness doesn't happen now. It doesn't happen 5 minutes from now. It takes time. But you have to actively pursue forgiveness in your heart and actively pursue that peace. If you're just waiting around for it to go away, it'll fester. So you can go to therapy, of course. That's always a good option if it's really bad. You can journal and maybe write letters to the person. Maybe write your angry letters, write your sad letters, write all these feelings out and on paper or something. You can talk to friends. You can type it out. You know, I like handwritten journals. You can drive around and talk. Sometimes I will take a drive and I'll just talk. And I'll just there's like all this background noise because my kids are cleaning, and I think it's so sweet that they're cleaning. So I'm not gonna stop them. You're just gonna hear all kinds of dishes and stuff. I don't know if it's picking up by the camera, but I'm not gonna stop. If my kids are cleaning, I am not going to stop them, even though I'm doing this vlog right now. Let the noise. I don't know if you can hear it. It's happening. I don't care. I don't put music in my videos either. I don't like fancy them up. I just keep it simple. I just want to talk. I got stuff to say. I don't get too fancy with my videos. So you're going to hear them cleaning. And is that nice? My kids are cleaning. Thank you, children. Without even me making them do it. It's amazing. So, the number one thing to get to forgiveness is you have got to process your emotions first. You have to let out your anger. You have to let out your frustration. You have to let out all of those feelings that you have about what happened, maybe to the person, but maybe not. Maybe not. And if the person you need to forgive is someone close to you, you might not want to unleash on them because that might make it worse, right? You unleash and then they unleash and then everyone's angry. So you have to find a way to get all that out. And then after you process what you're feeling, then you start finding forgiveness by letting it go. One of the perspectives that helps me forgive is to look at the person's humanity and pain, because yes, there are evil people, right? Nazis are evil, like murderers are evil, right? Like there are people who are acting out of evil, but most of the time when people hurt you, they're acting out of pain. They have something going on in their life that's making them choose bad behavior. And I've hurt people in my life and I have acted out of pain. They're acting out of pain. So sometimes if you can get in touch with knowing their pain and knowing why they do what they do, or knowing what went on in their life that would drive them to that behavior, that helps you forgive them. Because if you start seeing people as evil, then it's harder to forgive. Now, some people are, right? Like some people just, let's face it. There was a thing about the live action Maleficent movie. Some people didn't like it because they thought it confused good and evil, because Maleficent was a sympathetic character. But the live action movie was more reality. The cartoon of Sleeping Beauty, where, you know, I mean, most like kids cartoons and stuff, Disney movies, they have like very clear, like this is evil and they are pure evil and they are unredeemable. But especially as a Christian, I'm going to tell you that almost everyone is redeemable. People are redeemable. And most of the time, even people who commit crimes usually come from a place of pain. Most of prisons are full of people who are abandoned by their parents, or abused and are put in the foster system, or abused by the foster system. They're from the foster system. Foster care system, not good, right? I mean, no matter what, even if you have nice foster parents, you're there for a horrible reason, right? So the live action Maleficent movie, she was tortured. Her wings were cut off. Horrible things happened to her, and it turned her into a monster. I am not absolving her. I don't want to get no comments saying, no, you're absolving people of evil. I am not. You know, she had a choice. I've had horrible things happen to me. I had a horrible childhood. Horrible. My childhood was terrible. That's why I go to Disneyland all the time, because I have reparented myself and given myself the childhood that I did not have. My childhood was riddled with violence and abuse. I was a victim of the date rape drug at 19. I was drugged and I woke up while it was happening. It is very hard for me to talk about. I don't like to talk about it. I was assaulted later by another person in another situation. I don't even like to say the R word. I don't like to say that word. Even all these years later, I have not embraced that word. It's just, ugh. Okay, and I forgave both those people. Are they in my life? No. Now, one of them, the later one, actually found me on Facebook years and years and years later and apologized to me for what he did. And he had improved his life and he had gone through all this stuff and he felt horrible and he asked my forgiveness and I forgave him, but I had already forgiven because I had let it go. That was crazy. That was a crazy experience. Did I become his friend, which he actually wanted to do? No, because it was somebody I knew that did it. And isn't that the case? I mean, most of the time that's the case, right? I mean, most of the time it's not somebody grabbing you in a dark alley or breaking in your house. Most sexual assault is someone that you know. And 1 in 3, I think it's 1 in 3 women. Yeah, those are bad statistics. So, when you forgive, looking at their humanity and their pain, the people that did that to me, both of them had horrific stuff in their background. And it's not an excuse. You got to make choices, right? Like you could, like look at Harry Potter, right? He did not go to Slytherin. Harry Potter did not go. Like you can't choose the dark side, right? You can't choose the dark side. You have to make your choices. You got to be, Luke and not Anakin, right? In life. So it's so funny because I'm in front of a window and it's kind of like getting dark and I'm getting this vignette around me and it's slowly gotten darker around me and this is like a 12-minute video. In the last 12 minutes the sun is like set more. I put myself in front of the window to get the good light in the setting sun and then it's like getting darker, but it's kind of cool effect. I have like a little dark circle. Okay, so I'm almost wrapping up here. So in order to get to forgiveness, you have to process your emotions. You have to process all those bad feelings. Then you have to let go of your ego, your need to be right, your desire to get vengeance, and your desire even sometimes for validation, because sometimes you will not get it for lots of reasons. And you have to do the forgiveness for you, for yourself. Find forgiveness in your heart for yourself so that you have peace. All right, so I pray a lot of blessings for you. I hope that you do find peace in your life and that any of my vlogs about this kind of stuff are helpful. And I better get off before it gets dark because I don't want to set up lighting. That's just so much work. I had like perfect lighting that golden hour and then it's just going. Well, I also made the video like 3-4 times because I kept not saying things how I like. Okay, I'm signing off now. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Get yourself a pretty journal. Journal about it. Get therapy if you need to, but take care of you. Bye.